Although it is known fact that us healthcare professionals are much higher at a burnout rate than the average Americans, and some people say even as high as 200% so higher. However, do you really believe that you would ever be one of those statistics, or can you just function great on your own with the resources that you have?
Healthcare entrepreneurs and startup founders, are you ready to rewrite the rules for your business so you can have more time off, a great team, and more income while creating bigger social impact in healthcare? Then you are in the right place. Welcome to the Provider's Edge podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina Rumbach. I'm a provider, an international peak performance keynote speaker, and a best-selling author. My guests and I help healthcare entrepreneurs like you control your business, control your life, and control your future. This is your defining moment to be a disruptor in healthcare. This episode is sponsored by Sabrina Rumbach, LLC. As we know, here is the place to celebrate medicine and all the great work, how we support your community and creating innovations together. Therefore, I'm putting money in running this show and putting on the best speakers for you so we can all grow together. Hope you enjoy the show. Let's get started.
Many of the high-functioning practice leaders are in stages, what we call them functioning burnout. They can keep up the things at flow, but cannot reach the next level, even they have reached a point that they feel like, I feel like I can grow, but I'm not having the capacity. This is why I invited the world wellness expert, Shanya Melissa Stockman here. She is a nurse of so many years experience, a nurse practitioner, and she is a biohacker NP for 3 decades. She has personally suffered heart failure and left hopeless by the doctors. She healed herself holistically without medications, which is amazing from both a healthcare professional and those how we can take care of our patients. And she infuses naturopathic approaches with biohacking to attack the root causes. And she also helps people to re-energize, feel better, and be happier, often without medications. Now she's able to do the same teaching for healthcare professionals who also wanted to implement other modalities with biohacking to train their patients without using medication. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That was such a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. And congrats. I think you're coming up on 100th episode soon.
Yes, our published ones are coming up the 100th episode. And these live shows has been going on for a while, and now we get able to repurpose them later. It will be a quick announcement. We'll elaborate this more. As we publish our 100th episode, we are going to a new direction of really hold in those healthcare disruptors, those of us who really know that the healthcare practice system is broken and we are working extra hours, we're having high turnovers, and we can't even keep our own practice at flow. So specifically for the private practice owners, I would love to invite you to chat on the show, the good, bad, and the triumph that you have to encourage other people to stay in medicine. If we leave, if we don't know how to keep ourselves at flow, then we cannot take care of the patients, and they would have a lot more struggle on even finding a new provider, bouncing left around between ERs and hospitals. So that's not what we want. And that's even more crucial to be in conversation with you and with people like Shanya. How can we really do differently in optimizing the way that we practice medicine and treating our patients so we feel fulfilled, we feel alive as a practice owner instead of just being dragged down by all the obligations. So I would love to hear more of your story.
Sure.
How do you get to this point of biohacking and then all your amazing outcomes?
Great. Well, it started actually, I'm going to give away a hint to my age. It started in the early 70s. My grandma raised me. And I used to see her eat a banana with her heart medicine. And in later years, I discovered it was a potassium depleting diuretic, and bananas help save potassium. And then I noticed she was eating low salt foods. Later to find out she had hypertension. So she was trying to use diet, nutrigenomics, what we call today, to offset her genetic expression. All her siblings had diabetes. She ate right, stayed skinny, didn't develop diabetes. So we know we have the power to actually change genetic expression a lot of the times. So that's where it started. Then I met a nurse that so left a lasting impression on me. I said, wow, I like helping people. She likes helping people. She'll never know how many lives she impacted. And those lives will in turn impact more lives. I want to be like that. So that inspired me to go into nursing. And I've since inspired other people to go into nursing as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like you have that your own transformation and then be in the place that you have bigger vision now. And
yes.
So in healthcare, there's so many different routes, right? We can do nursing, physical therapy, PAs, and medical. And it all has to connect back to our reason why and the vision. So what was the vision at the time when you entered nursing?
When I entered nursing, I just loved helping people. And I knew that nurses helped people. And this nurse I knew was going to impact a lot of lives that would impact more lives. So this rippling effect would be a massive tidal wave effect. And I was like, whoa, I want that. And then in later years, my grandmother wasn't able to walk anymore. I was a brand new nurse at the time. And I'm looking at a picture of her right now. And I literally back then carried her into the doctor's office. You know, everyone didn't have a wheelchair. And they gave up hope on her walking again. And I got her walking again without an assistance, a cane, or anything. And I had to give her the mindset, right? The belief, self-fulfilling prophecy. That's where a lot of it starts. So I gave her the belief. We took massive, consistent daily action, stretching, strengthening, never, ever gave up. And she walked again. And then years later, I myself went into full-blown heart failure. And the specialist basically left me feeling like she was helpless and hopeless, try this, try that. And I said to the doctors, now I'm already a nurse. I said, is any of this going to slow down my progression? No. Is any of it going to reverse it? No. Okay, then why should I take it? So that's when I knew there had to be a better way. And I helped be a part of healing myself holistically without meds. That heart failure was almost 20 years ago today. And I don't think I would have been around if I didn't do what I did. So a big part of it was biohacking.
Yes, we know heart failure is such one of the biggest issue that we deal with from
number one killer.
Right. And so for us, the surgical side, yes, we were trying to fix the valve or like reduce the chance of remodeling and whatnot. And then really pumping people with a lot of these standardized medication now to slow down progression, to reduce rehospitalization. However, if we have alternative biohacking ways we can supplement or even reverse altogether. It's not to say you stop taking whatever medication you're being subscribed to. And it's not for our cardiologists to feel defensive on, oh no, this is a little too woo out there. It's simply something that can supplement. And then guess what? And a lot of time in medicine, we do think about trials and proofs. So sometimes it's not a massive push into the market, but even you start having all these case studies, just like yourself, that can really give us hope, right? At the end of the day.
And I think a lot of times some use it instead of traditional medicine and some use it in conjunction with, which is what we know as integrative medicine. So I do work with a lot of specialists and doctors to integrate it in with medicines if needed. So some of my clients don't use traditional medicines, but I'm not against them. A lot of times I need to write prescriptions, but others, I use it with traditional medicine. So I have some chemo patients use this in conjunction with their chemo, and others can't tolerate chemo. One went into heart failure because of chemo, so she looks at this as an alternative. So it can be used either way.
Exactly.
It's important to know.
Also, we just wanted to know that there are options. At the end of the day, there are people who's going to ask you, is there another way than just taking medication? Is there other way besides surgical intervention? And sometimes it's really difficult conversation to bring up with people. Now, have you seen the biohacking population you're able to help with? Are they more in the early stages, middle stages, end stages, or it doesn't have not?
All of them. I have some that are pro athletes to get the competitive edge because it seems to increase their endurance and shorten recovery. And recently I had one in stage 4 metastatic breast cancer who, even with chemo, the tumors were spreading. After she started biohacking, she is now in full remission. Can I claim natural things did that? No. But I have story after story after story. I have another elderly man. He was diagnosed with COPD, never smoked. It was Agent Orange exposure from the war. And he was on all these inhalers. He had different lobes of his lung pops over the years and different, tubes and surgeries. And because of that, he was short of breath all the time. So then he couldn't sleep good. He was exhausted. He was sad. He was depressed. Since he's biohacking now, I didn't know this. We talked one day recently. And he's like, I'm off all my meds and I haven't felt this good in decades. No, I don't recommend anyone just suddenly stop their medicines. I will work in conjunction with them or their specialists or their doctors. A lot of them I am their practitioner. And I do a lot of times able to taper them off some of their meds, or if not all of their meds, or lower their doses over time. So imagine that. You're in your 70s and you hadn't felt this good in decades, even after going to the specialist. So now I want to empower the specialists with these techniques because you know what? A lot of us, these scientific breakthroughs were not around when they graduated medical school. So they're not aware of them. They could have been top on their A game at the time 20 years ago when they graduated, but there's a lot of science since then. So I want to empower the fellow healthcare providers and the specialists so that they can help even more people for this rippling effect to become a tidal wave. And I think that can also help the providers a lot too, because self-care is a big part of what we should be doing. And as a provider, we don't. We don't. We always say, put on your oxygen mask first. And a lot of our providers, we don't. This is a good way they can biohack so that they can re-energize, feel better themselves, be happier, offer it to their clients. Because I think a lot of times traditional medicine is about masking tape on a garden hose. It's masking the symptoms. It's not getting at the root cause. And then eventually it just, explodes the problem. And I think that biohacking can really attack the root cause, but it can help healthcare providers because now I love getting all the messages. I have great energy. I haven't felt this good. I don't need my medicines anymore. And, the traditional medicine I was hearing, now I have a yeast infection. I still have a cough and it's only, 12 hours later. My cough's not gone. I want to empower the healthcare professionals that they can help more people get healthier. And yet it can also help them as well, because I find that I was meant to create a deeper impact in healthcare. I went into healthcare to get people healthy, and I felt traditional medicine a lot of times was keeping them sick. It was doing their best, but it wasn't enough. So I feel this can actually help them create a deeper impact with their patients that they were meant to do. Give them back some of their precious time now, because now more people are getting healthier quicker. It's actually giving them back precious time. It's helping them generate recurring income, leveraged income, where they don't have to see as many patients anymore, to give them that better quality of life. Because I know now, looking back, if I could have worked less, I would have spent more time with my grandma and my mom before they passed. And I want to be able to give that to other healthcare professionals that are just working those 80 hours a week like you were, like I was, to show them we can have a quality of life too and help more people get healthier at the same time.
Right. So the concept really go into a little deeper. Biohacking is newer concept. However, it's been a hot topic in the recent years. Now, there are multiple different type of biohacking. I think it's great to start exploring yourself on these newer topics. Now, also, anything new also has a price tag to it. However, how costly it is from a monetary standpoint, what is the cost for you to be suffering, or what is the benefit for you to be alleviated from your disease so you can be in a better position to do what you truly want to do for your life and to spend the time you want with your family, instead of feeling that you needing to just count your pills and then need to even remember taking that and then go into potentially full-blown, right, these acute episodes, and you end up in the ER, the hospital, and then being away from your families, from your friends. And that's truly about hacking it in a way, yes, it's healing, but also be more proactive instead of the reactive medicine.
Yes, I love that. I actually put that in my book, Proactive, Not Reactive. I love that. And also, people don't realize, yes, the cost of biohacking is a lot cheaper. If I add in a lot of my patients now, they were going to the PCP, spending a copay, then going to the specialist, spending a double copay, then 2 or 3 prescriptions, over-the-counter meds, being sick, out of work. You forget all those costs add up. The cost of biohacking is a lot cheaper than that.
Right. You still have to really calculate where you are. However, we are not saying that if your patient really are at a level that they can barely feed themselves and whatnot,
Yes.
then you're giving that. That's not what we're saying. This is to say that the people are able, yes, in socialization, some people are able to afford these additional costs and some people cannot. However, we adjust on where are we using our resources and finances. And some of us don't even know where our money coming in and go. And that's even more intentional about how do you distributing what you need for your family and then for your own self. And especially, Shanya, you're saying you really wanted to help both the healthcare professional to feel better. And then therefore, how we spend our money is not that, we treat a patient, there's a billing insurance where where's a cash pay, that there's at least something to cover our expenses. But our own health basic need, it should just be an automatic and non-negotiable expenses as well.
And the beauty of the biohacking is that there's no health insurance issues involved at all whatsoever. You don't have to worry about pre-auths, any of that. But also, it's a way for the healthcare professionals to offset and leverage their income for recurring income stream, that they can see less patients while they're helping more patients. And it's like, our rising healthcare costs and our overheads are through the roof. Our insurance reimbursements are down. So we were having to see more and more and more patients in their day to equal the same amount of money in the end. Well, now they don't have to, because now you have hundreds of thousands of your clients on the biohacking as well, which also helps offset and leverage your income as well. So there's a whole way to not only help your clients get healthier, but capitalize on it as well.
Right. I know people who are listening to this, that they're going to be intrigued, at the same time be worried about what type of specific biohacking you're doing, because I learned multiple different modalities. Some people targeting the DNA repair, some people targeting the inflammation, right? So there's so many different types of biohacking out there. So what is the specific one that you're promoting that you can get good results?
Yes, biohacking, it could be exercise, diet, it could be with nutrigenomics, different nutrients we ingest. And we do know now that endogenous antioxidants are much more potent than exogenous. So if you were to ingest an antioxidant, they're usually synthetic, you don't absorb them. And if you do, one molecule of antioxidant can only neutralize and fight one bad free radical. But what I do is I help activate pathways in your body, which are roadways and highways, to actually activate genes to do what they should do and used to do. For example, when I activate your NRF2 pathway, now I do it with simple techniques. They're little capsules and caplets that have herbs, natural occurring substances in an exact proportion that were proven, tested in living humans, revalidated with studies on PubMed that we look for, done at third-party universities. That's huge. So I think there's 3 main theories of aging. Free radicals in our body creates oxidative stress. We know that as adding up to inflammation. NIH, National Institute of Health, said that causes chronic inflammation. Inflammation is never a good thing, right? In our joints, it causes pain. In our heart, it's not good. Anywhere in our lungs, it creates asthma, wheezing, COPD. So 3 theories of aging. Free radicals accumulate in our lifetime, more so now than ever with microwaves, cell phones, and insecticides, pesticides. We're acquiring them quicker than we can get rid of them. And over time, our antioxidant production goes down. So Dr. Joe McCord, he actually discovered superoxide dismutase, the antioxidant that our bodies make, in the 60s. So this has been studied since the 60s. It's just newer that we're hearing of it. So Dr. Joe McCord in the 60s discovered superoxide dismutase, an antioxidant our bodies make. And we noticed that one molecule of SOD can neutralize up to 1 million free radicals at a time. But an antioxidant I take, an exogenous one, is a 1-to-1 ratio. But an antioxidant I make is 1 to 1 million. So I said, hey, how can I rev up production of antioxidants like before we had health problems? He discovered the NRF2, the NRF2 pathway is responsible for that. So when we take these little capsules and caplets with different herbs and proprietary blends, they activate the NRF2 pathway, make my body produce more superoxide dismutase, more glutathione, increased glutathione 300% on average. That overall reduced oxidative stress 40% on average in every living human tested. Nothing else in the world is scientifically proven to reduce oxidative stress 40% on average in living humans. And that's what's linked. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, the medical correspondent for CNN, said in his book, Chasing Life, it's linked to over 100 diseases now. So oxidative stress, so if we activate the NRF2 pathway, we can reduce oxidative stress 40%. I'm not going to guarantee you don't get anything, but I started activating my pathways because I have family history, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. I said, you know what, maybe it'll better my odds. So we, activate three main pathways. We also noticed that our mitochondria decline over the years, and mitochondria are required for cell life. ATP give us cellular energy. When there's no more mitochondria, the cell dies. So if we activate the NRF1 pathway with different capsules and caplets and proprietary blends, we can actually help your own body produce more healthy mitochondria for the cells to live, to stay alive. That's huge.
What I'm hearing is just to simplify things, because I think when you're so good about the biochemistry things that you got fired up, right?
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I think some people need to hear that. But for other people, we're interested in exactly what you tap into, that we have plenty of inflammation in our body. Doesn't
Correct.
matter if it's our exposed and then how we're generating within, right? The chaotic side that needs to be healed. So we're activating more of those DNA expression to be able to, instead of 1-on-1 ratio, your 1-to-many ratio to heal yourself.
Yes.
Plus, our cell has to create energy. So we feel good. We can keep going. And then to do that, you are also helping to regenerate the mitochondria side of the energy. And so we're both tackling the energy side and the repair side.
Can I add one more thing to that? So also our sirtuins are like our garbage men. They autophage all the toxins before they become toxic and create more inflammation. When I activate the NAD pathway, I re-energize those sirtuins to detoxify our bodies more.
Right. So
they add additional inflammation.
Exactly. So you heal, you create more energy, and then all the things that kind of start breaking down, that's not good for us. We need to detox, right? Kidney can do so much of that. And then you needed to have some kind of reboot. So there's the three areas that you're tackling on. So that's great. And then, of course, biohacking is our natural way of using different herbs, plants that has been really ancient sciences that we're just recent years have been recognizing or has been able to put it into the modern system that can actually reproduce rapidly for people to get access on. So which is amazing.
I like to call it not just supplementation, but activation.
Activation.
Activate the pathways.
Right.
And did you know that one of the companies that I'm collaborating with now is over $200 million global biotech company that fellow activist Erin Brockovich is on the board of. So these are very prestigious companies that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, which is great, right? That's really show the authority, really show the credibility for what is possible out there. And so I know it's really hard for us to be good at everything, at anything. And we can be experts like you in the physical health space and my stay in the productivity efficiency space. But it's hard to manage everything. And that's okay because we're only human. So that's why I asked our speakers to take a little quick assessment of all 10 areas of your life. So when you did that assessment, what are some things that popped into your head?
Ooh, haha. Do I have to say them out loud? Let's see. Family and finance are probably not my strong points. Only because I never put myself on a budget.
You're like leaving the way of freedom. That's great. And then we know sometimes that then we can look into how come, right? And then you give yourself that reason. And then you can uplift that level. And what are some of the categories that you feel like, hey, I'm really strong in?
My purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
My purpose in life, my passion, my biohacking, helping people get healthy, stay healthy. I want to uplift everyone. That's why the cover of my first book, Overcoming Life Obstacles, has a mountain and everyone's uplifting the other person. And then at the top, instead of yes, we're celebrating together that we uplifted each other.
Exactly.
So I want to uplift everyone. And then when they get higher than me, they can uplift me further.
Right. I can totally see that. And your focus of your best thing, that clarity is your personal mission. And because you're so clear on the personal mission, and we can then reverse engineer what we have to do for our career, business, for family, for social, for, self, spirituality, how can we then tie everything together? Then we don't feel any lack. Thank you.
Yeah, I think my passion is so strong because my grandma was left helpless and hopeless, and I helped her. I was left helpless and hopeless. And there's so many out there that aren't aware of these newer technologies that we need to educate more healthcare professionals to help them create that deeper impact and that financial freedom to buy them back precious time that they can have with their family while they're still here before they say, I wish I did,
Right. And that's so crucial. And then I thank you so much for spending the time sharing with us and for all the amazing things that we're able to do together. And for everybody who's listening, you really here to be the moving and shakers in healthcare as well. And then to be able to open your ears, open your eyes for all the new possibility, not only for yourself, for your practice, really for your patient care. So we appreciate you. Until next time.
Yes. Can I tell them what's new?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I have a free Burnt Out to Blissful challenge and a deep dive full immersion course after that, where I'm going to go through them A through Z. What do you really want out of life? What's holding you back? What are your limiting beliefs? How to overcome them? All the different business options out there that I've explored over 30 years as a nurse and a nurse practitioner. And then what I chose and why. And it's going to go into biohacking and how to do it in a simple, easy, proven way. So if they go to ShanyaMelissa.com or my Instagram, Shanya Melissa, or my link tree, Shanya Melissa, they can see more on how to join my free challenge, how to get my deep dive immersion, or if they'd like to have a chapter, become a published author without writing an entire book and spending years of their life to be a best-selling published author, they can have that option too. It's on my website, Shanya Melissa. They can do the Get Healthier tab or the Create a Deeper Impact, Make More Money tab, or Becoming a Best-Selling Author tab, and do the free challenge and the deep dive course. And at the end of the course, they're going to have all the biohacking tools they need to know all the basics to have their biohacking business up and running in conjunction to help their existing clientele.
Perfect. I appreciate your time, appreciate your resources. For people who wanted to reach out to you, make sure you write down the link and simply just find her name. And then you can find out more sources. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
I hope you liked today's episode. If you're listening to me right now, odds are you're frustrated by how healthcare businesses are running today. I'm with you. I'm looking to change the conversation that we are having in the healthcare industry. It starts with me and it starts with you. I want to connect with you and get to know your struggles and success within the healthcare industry. Visit SabrinaRoundback.com/connect, where you can send me a direct message.
She really gets the conversation. She understands. She's an incredible listener. We were talking about worthiness, and she really understands the concept of it, how it affects people in their businesses, in their clinics, in their daily life, in their relationships. So I just want to encourage you to, one, listen to our show, but to jump on board and start listening to this woman, because she has so much insight and wisdom that you don't want to miss out.
So come to SabrinaRoundback.com/connect and let's continue the conversation.